Welcome to this quick guide where I'm going to show you how to upgrade from Windows 8 to Windows 8.1. And if you get any value out of this video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. But to get started with the guide, if you want to upgrade from Windows 8 to 8.1, there are 5 simple steps that you can follow, and I'm going to show you how to do each of them in this guide. Now, the first thing that you need to check is if your Windows is activated, because your copy of Windows 8 must be activated. Now, to do that, just go down to your Start button here, then right click on it, and then click on System. And it's going to open up this window on your computer. And at the bottom here, you'll see if your Windows is activated. Now, once you've checked that, you can just close this window again. And now for step 2, we need to install another browser. If you already have another browser installed like Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox, or actually just anything else other than Internet Explorer, you can skip this step and you can go ahead to step 3. But I have a fresh install of Windows 8 on this computer and I need to download another browser. So for this tutorial, I'm just going to download Google Chrome and I'm going to get it from the official Google Chrome webpage. So I'll just copy that link and then I'll go to my web browser here. And I'm just going to paste that into the Internet Explorer, which will then take me to the Google Chrome webpage for Windows 8.1, 8, and 7. Next, I'll just click on Download Chrome. And then the download should start automatically, but in case it doesn't, just click on Download Chrome manually. And then the download should start. And from here, I'm just going to click on Run, so it can run the file after the download. Here, I'll just click on Run anyway. And then I'll click on Yes. And it's going to start the installation for Google Chrome. So at this point, I'm just going to exit out of Internet Explorer and wait for Chrome to install. Okay, so Chrome is now finished installing. So if we go back to our guide, step 3 is to visit the Windows 8.1 software downloads page. And I'm going to do that by selecting this link, which is the official Microsoft.com software downloads page for Windows 8. So I'll just copy that and then I'll just paste it into Google Chrome. And then I'll press Enter. And it's going to take me to the Windows 8.1 ISO file downloads page. So on this page, you can just scroll down and at the bottom here, you can select an edition. So if you click on this drop down menu, you can select the edition for what you have installed on your system. Now, before you choose anything here, you can go back to your Start button at the bottom here, then right click on it. Then you can click on System, which will take us to the same page as we had before. Now here you need to check 2 things. First, you need to check what version of Windows 8 you have installed. I've got Windows 8 Pro installed, but you might have Windows 8 single language installed. So just have a look at your Windows edition. And then the next thing you need to check your system type to see if you have a 64-bit operating system or a 32-bit operating system. Now, once you've checked those 2 things, you can just minimize this window and you can go back to where you can select an edition. Now, most of us will just choose between Windows 8.1 or Windows 8.1 single language. Now, in my case, I don't have a single language license. I've got Windows 8 Pro installed, and that's going to be under this normal Windows 8.1 file. So I'll select that and then click on Confirm. Next, we need to select the product language. Now, here we need to go to our time and language or region settings in the control panel. So to do that, you can right click on the Start button again. Then you can click on Control Panel. Here, just change the View By setting to large icons. And then you want to find Region. And you can click on Region. And it's going to open this window. And here I can see that I've got English South Africa installed. So I'm going to need to select the English language. So if I go back to Google Chrome and I select the language on this list, I'm going to select the English language. Now you have 2 versions. You've got English United States and you've got English International. And what you select here is very important because it's going to determine if you can keep all of your files and apps when you upgrade to Windows 8.1. Now, I'm pretty sure that I used the English United States version and not the English International version. So I'm going to select English United States. But if you do download the ISO file and you follow this guide and you find that you can't keep all of your files and apps, just come back to this step and then select the other English version and download a new ISO file. I'm going to select English United States and then click on Confirm. And then lastly, we'll need to select either 32-bit or 64-bit. Now, if you remember from earlier when we went to the system page, we had a look at the system type and I've got a 64-bit operating system installed. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select 64-bit download, and it's going to start downloading the Windows 8.1 64-bit ISO file to my computer, and that's about 4 gigs in size. So we'll just wait for that to finish, then we can carry on with the guide. Okay, so once the ISO file is finished downloading, you can click on Show in Folder, or you can just navigate to your Downloads folder wherever you save this ISO file. Then you can right-click on it. Then you can click on Open With. And then you want to find the option to keep using Windows Explorer, just like I had there. Then you want to open it with the Windows Explorer, and you'll find this new folder with these files inside of it. And if we go back to our guide, we now need to run the setup.exe file and then upgrade to Windows 8.1. So I'm going to right click on this setup file and then click on Run as Administrator. Click on Yes if you receive any prompts. On this first screen, you can just click on No Thanks, and you can just make sure that this checkbox is empty. Then you can click on Next. On this next screen, you can just click on I accept the license terms. Then you can click on Accept. Now right here, I can only keep my personal files, and I can't keep my personal files and apps. So like I mentioned earlier, when we downloaded the Windows 8.1 ISO file, I need to select the correct language. So in my case, because I don't see keep personal files and apps, I have to go back to this step where I download the Windows 8.1 ISO file. And this time I'm going to select the English International language, because it doesn't seem like I have the English US version installed. So I'll select English International, then click on Confirm. Then once again select 64-bit download, and it's now going to download the Windows 8.1 English International ISO file. And once again I'm doing this because I can't keep my personal files and apps. I can only keep my personal files. So for now, I'm just going to exit out of this Windows 8.1 setup and then click on Yes. And now if I go back to this folder with the Windows 8.1 ISO files, I'm just going to click on Computer here on the left. And this ISO file that I have mounted here, I'm just going to select that, then right click on it, and then click on Eject, so that ISO file isn't mounted on my system anymore. So now I'll just need to wait for this other ISO file to finish downloading, then we can carry on with the guide. Okay, so this ISO file is finished downloading, so I'll also click on Show in Folder, and then I'll right click on this ISO file and then click on Open With, and then make sure that you have this option that says keep using Windows Explorer. If you don't have it, just click on More Options and find Windows Explorer on this list. Click on that. And then once again select the setup file, right click on it, and then click on Run as Administrator, then click on Yes if you receive any prompts. Here click on No Thanks and make sure that that box is deselected. Click on Next. Next select the terms again, then click on Accept. And now here you can see that I can keep my settings, personal files and apps, and that's exactly what I want. So I'll make sure that that's selected, then click on Next. It's going to do some checks on your computer, and then you'll see that it's going to install Windows 8.1 Pro, and it's going to keep all of your settings, personal files and apps. Then you can just click on Install, and it's going to start the upgrade from Windows 8 to Windows 8.1, and you just need to wait for this to finish. And this can take anywhere from a half an hour to more than an hour, depending on if you have Windows 8 installed on a solid state drive or a hard drive. On a solid state drive, it's going to be much faster than on a hard drive, but you'll just need to wait for this to finish, and you can just make sure that your computer stays on during this process, and once it's finished, you'll be on Windows 8.1. Okay, so once the upgrade is finished, you should see a screen that looks like this, and you can just pick a network, either wired or wireless, to continue with the installation. I'm currently connected on a wired network, so I'll just click on Next. If you want to customize these settings, just click on Customize, and then you can go through these prompts. I'm just going to go back and click on Use Express Settings, and then it's going to finalize the installation of Windows 8.1. Now once the upgrade is finished, we can just right click on the Start button, then click on System. And in this System page, we can check that it is now on Windows 8.1. Now from here, you can just go ahead and use Windows 8.1 on your system. But if you're interested, I also have another guide on my channel showing you how to upgrade from Windows 8.1 to Windows 10. And if you're interested in watching that, you can just go ahead and click on the video that's on screen now. But if this guide's been useful, please like the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.